Hello everyone, and welcome to the Good to Go guided meal program brought to you by The Meeting Place. Today we are going to make some pad thai. And this pad thai will feature delicious Napa cabbage brought to you by the Easy Farm. The first thing you're going to want to do is get a large pot of water and put it on high heat to boil. While you're waiting for that to happen, take your tofu out of its package, wrap it in a clean towel, and press as much of the water out of it as you can. Then take it back out of the towel and break it up manually into chunks. You can also use a knife if you like, but there's not much fun in that. Set that aside and move on to your Napa cabbage. You want to wash it fairly well. Remember, this is organic, so you might find some little friends in the leaves. And then spin it dry. That's the sound Napa cabbage makes when it's being spun really fast. Okay, now slice your Napa cabbage into strips. When the water is boiling, drop your rice noodles into it and remove the water from heat. Make sure all of the noodles are submerged in the hot water and let them cook for 3 to 5 minutes until soft. You want them to be soft, but not too soft. Don't over soak them. When they're ready, drain the water and set the noodles aside. Drizzle with a little bit of peanut oil or avocado oil so that they don't stick together. Now in your meal kit, there is a mason jar full of the seasoning, which includes honey, sugar, rice vinegar, and tamarind paste. You can put all of that into a small saucepan over medium-low heat and bring it to a simmer. Add a little bit of water to help the tamarind dissolve fully into the sauce. This might be anywhere from 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of water, depending on how quickly your sauce is reducing. Now it's time to add your red chili flakes. The recipe calls for 1/2 teaspoon, but add less if you're worried about it being too spicy. And now just set that aside to cool. All right, so while we're waiting for the sauce to cool, let's slice our green onions. Just these thin slices like this. And now take the peel off of the garlic, or the skin off of the garlic, thinly slice, and then mince the garlic. Okay, so the sauce should be cool enough to handle. Put it in a sieve, a fine mesh sieve ideally, but you can also use a colander if you don't have one of those handy. And just mash it around and separate the sauce from the outer pod, like the outer shell of the tamarind pod and the seeds of the tamarind. These things often find their way into the tamarind paste, but we don't want them in our sauce, so we're just extracting them here. Okay, let's get cooking. Put 3 tablespoons of oil into a large skillet over medium-high heat. You can use peanut oil, it's ideal. You can also use avocado oil or any light-tasting oil. When the oil gets nice and hot, add the green onions and garlic and cook for about 1 minute. Then add the eggs to the pan. And when they begin to set, scramble them until they're just done. Then add the cabbage and bean sprouts and continue to cook until the cabbage begins to wilt. Finally, add the tofu. Season lightly with salt and continue to cook for a few minutes before adding the rice noodles. Add the sauce to the rice noodles and toss gently to coat. Continue to cook until noodles are warmed through. Roughly chop the peanuts, slice your limes, and also wash and roughly chop the cilantro. And now you're ready to plate. Portion the stir fry onto 4 plates, top with chopped nuts, cilantro, and serve with a lime alongside. Pad Thai, good to go.